Let's find an expression that represents the magenta parabola. Alright, so let's take a look at something important here. Look at this basic parabola. Trace over this part of it because this is very important. It gives an indication about what happens. If I take this and I move it to here, I'm going to move a little more, right? You see? Because I want this to align with this. So then I come up here, you see how it aligns perfectly? Well, almost perfectly. It was freehand. I get the idea. So now look, this here is a horizontal shift, isn't it? Right there. Well, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's to the left, so it's -4. That means if I just left it, I'd say this red bit here, if I continued as a parabola, that would be x+4 quantity squared. It's a 4 to the left, so here in this expression, you always have to use the opposite because remember it comes from doing x minus -4 squared, which then ends up in the end as x+4, okay? But then, what happens next? You count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, don't you? And that brings you up to the green parabola, which is kind of overlaid with the magenta one. So then you just have to attach the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, right? That's the vertical shift plus 5 this way. So that means you end up with x+4 quantity squared plus 5 for that reason. So again, remember that this part, I'll make that red. This shows up in here in this form. And then this 5 here, make that bold or something. This shows up like this. It's, if you have to pause and look over the pieces, but that's how you do this. Now let's look at the next one. This one's a little bit different because it's got a flip involved. So if I trace over this basic important piece of the basic parabola, this is x squared again. Let me stretch. This is x squared. Stress. So here you move it here. Okay, so first what you would have based on that is, let's see, that would be x minus -1, so it would be x+1 quantity squared. That would be this one. Then you bring it up to here. Okay, let's maybe flip the color here, so make that green. So that would be x+1 quantity squared, but because it's lifted 3, so count, it's 1, 2, 3, so you gotta attach the 3 at the very end. But the issue is that doesn't overlap with the magenta one, because the magenta one is fingertips down, so to speak, if you think of this as your hand. So what you do is you basically take this, and then you flip it down, so let's just basically do this, you see? I'll make that gray so it's a different color, you see? Now it looks like this. But that amounts to just multiplying by -1 for the gray one. So you're going to have negative x+1 squared plus 3. So that would be how you do the gray one, the final version of it. That's how you can do these. Leave a like if it's helpful.